What is up, guys? My name is Sebastian from doinksports.com, and today I'm going to be doing a short video on how to get started with Doink. Whether you're totally new to the community or you've been with us for a little while but you're not fully caught up to speed, this video is for you. I'm going to be showing you where things are, how to navigate around, and how to initially set up your Doink dashboard so that you can start leveling up your sports betting research. Diving right in, if you're on a desktop, this left navigation bar is how you get around. So up at the top, we have our league selector, and if you click it, we'll show you all the available leagues for you to research. One thing to note is that we're only going to show you leagues that are currently in season. So below that, we have our tool selector, and tools are just different dashboards that we create to help you analyze a league's data in a different way. And different leagues have different tools. So the MLB, for example, has a batter versus pitcher tool, while the NFL has a start-sit tool to help you with your fantasy lineups. Now below the tool selector, we have our game selector. And here's where you select which game you want to dive into for your research. And we'll show you games about 48 hours in advance typically, and they remain up on the site all the way through the end of the game. So that's the left navigation bar. Now switching gears to the top bar here, the most important part of the most important thing for you to do right when you get started with Doink is to configure your sports books. So it's very important that you see odds and lines from the books that you actually can place a bet on so that you're not wasting time and looking at the books that you actually have. When it comes to odds format up at the top, here's where you select how you want to see your odds. By default, we have American selected, but we also can show you decimal odds or fractional odds. It's really just your preference. Below that, we have our location selector, and here's where you select which state you're in. This matters for things like one-click betting, and so that we show you the correct odds that are available in your state. Below that is where you can select which book you want to see odds from at any moment. So by default, best lines are selected, but if, for example, you only have access to DraftKings for some reason, you only want to see DraftKings lines, you can select that here, and then everything across the site is only DraftKings. Now, you might not have access to a lot of these books, and so below is where you can configure that. Here's where you can select on or off any books that you may or may not have access to or have accounts with. And once you correctly configure all of your books, you click Save, and then throughout the whole site, you're only going to see odds from the books that you have access to. Again, that's the most important thing to do right when you get started with Doink, so make sure you get that out of the way. Moving along, on the left here, we have our search. And so if you want to go straight to a player or a team, here's where you can search. And this spans all leagues. So it's a quick way for you to find which player or team you want to do research in if you know already. Now, on the right here, we have our settings menu where you can just configure different parts about the site and how it looks. That's just for you to play with. And then we have our bet slip. So as you're doing your research, you can add bets to your bet slip if they look good to you or you want to dive into them a little bit later. They'll show up here as you add them. And if you add 2 or more, we're going to show you if any books are offering parlays on all the legs that you've added and which ones are the best. So the last thing I'm going to talk about in this video is your account menu. This is where you can configure your subscription. This is where you log out, and we have some other resources for you to look at if you get lost or you need any help. One final plug is join the community. So there's different places where you can get involved in the Doink community. Discord is by far our most popular, where you can chat with us and other members of the Doink community. But you can follow us on YouTube where you'll find this video, or you can follow us on X as well. Anyways, guys, this has been a short video on how to get started with Doink. If you have any questions, feel free to drop questions in the comments below or shoot us a DM on Twitter or Discord. We're always here to help. And welcome to the community.